Hey there, this is Pete
And this is Alex
from
Star Wars Minute.
As everyone knows, the best music throughout the galaxy can be found at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
But do you know where the second best music throughout the galaxy can be found?
Well, it's over at the Song a Week podcast, hosted by our pals, Michael Cassidy and Paul Rust, of the band Don't Stop or We'll Die.
Each week, their band debuts an all-new, fully produced song and adds it to their catalog of infectious weirdo pop rock hits.
Make sure to also check out the Song a Week Patreon at patreon.com/don'tstoporwilldie for extra goodies like monthly bonus episodes, downloadable tracks, and more.
You can listen to all the fun wherever you listen to your podcasts on this planet and beyond, and groove out to a song a week from Don't Stop or We'll Die.
Or We'll Die. Hello and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
This is Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And this is Tim Barnes, co-host of the Yub Nub Star Wars podcast that I co-host with other comedians and creators of things, Greg Iwinski and Jim Fagan. Do you like how much I'm just like expanding this segment of the podcast?
Fine. That's less for us to do, so keep going.
And I am also creator of a new animated web series, a cartoon, if you will, that's on Comedy Central's animated YouTube channel called Maurice on Mars. And the critics are loving it. Fans, I've got a fan base now. I've got, you know.
You've got.
I'm frankly surprised you came back.
Yeah. I mean, we had to hire extra security to get you back in there when you went out for coffee this morning. So
yeah, I know, extra security just to get me into this part of my apartment for this chat. You know, it's
groupies
my
outside.
life has changed. It's like George Lucas before the premiere of Star Wars: A New Hope and after.
You're surrounded by yes men now.
Yeah, I'm like, you had to sign a Tim Film Limited contract, NDA, before I signed on here.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about these. That's why we just set you up for these. And you've got a new project, and we're not allowed to even say the name of it.
Very strict. Very strict.
Yeah. Well, you know what we are allowed to say the name of? Solo, a Star Wars story, because we're talking about minute 94.
94.
94 starts with the Millennium Falcon getting bonked with a rock, and it ends with Beckett saying, "Shut up and let me do this."
Yeah. Another good minute.
There's definitely more action. It keeps going. It keeps building. And I wrote a question to myself. I don't know if you guys want to hear it.
Can we answer it, or is it only for you?
It's only for me. I'm going to tell you the answer is yes.
Another NDA.
So there you go. No, I wrote a question to myself, like, is this hard to tell because we're breaking it down minute by minute, but is this good tension? Is it good action tension being ratcheted up slowly, like incrementally? Or is it, I worry about peril fatigue from time to time, you know about that. But I think because this ramps up layer by layer like this, I think it is good. And I'm thrilled by it versus I feel like if they got through the one thing and then there was something else that they had to, like, oh, we're not done yet, we got to do this other thing, you know, like, well, not, I say that as like something I wouldn't like, and then I was paraphrasing like Star Wars, my favorite movie of all time. It's like, we're not done yet. Like, that's good, Peril. I just threw my pen. That's how excited I am. Look, I talked about Star Wars.
A movie like this that's cushioned between so much lore, the only real tension is anyone who isn't Han or Lando gonna die? That is the only tension, or Chewbacca, that can exist in this film, is like, which one of these people that isn't the person we all know gonna die?
Well, we also, I mean, we theorized it could also be Chewbacca, you know, it's like like Snowball 2. Like Han could have gotten a new Chewbacca in between here and the movies that we see. So
Yeah, there have to be more Wookiees named Chewbacca.
Yeah, or Chewbacca got a new Han Solo because he looks completely different when we see him in the other movie. So maybe your name is Han Solo now.
Right.
He said to his
or
new,
he just
new human
he can't tell them apart, so he just grabbed another guy
Yeah.
and started like, "Come on, Han Solo," and he's like, "What? All right, you got Dick Whitman." Yeah, but overall, I think, I mean, again, it's hard to tell because of the minute by minute thing, but I think it is good. I think I am. This action is thrilling. It doesn't linger too long on any one thing. There's not a lot of kind of, cliche. There's not, like cut the wrong wire and the clock goes faster or any of that garbage in here.
It's a little techno babble heavy, but I feel like overall it's a
techno babble and technology babble, or technology putting the thing in the thing.
Right.
I got nostalgic about seeing that crisp, clean hallway in the Millennium Falcon, and I forgot this film answers the most important question, the thing we're all dying to figure out. How did the Millennium Falcon get so scruffy looking? How did it? How did all those dust and dirt particles get on those padded cushions that are lodged into the walls?
Yeah. Has it always been a piece of junk? No.
Yeah. The answer is no. The answer may surprise you. Tune in next week. Yeah.
Beckett does some good sliding around those halls, which is nice.
Yeah, weirdly, I was thrown off by that shot.
You were thrown off into the hallway.
I was thrown off into the maw, and now it's pulling my skeleton out of my body. It looks to me like the place he's sliding is right over the compartments that he was just like opening. You know what I mean?
You were talking before about how you know every nook and cranny of the Millennium Falcon.
You are a famed Millennium Falcon cartographer.
Intimately familiar. In fact, I actually got out my old cross-sections book to compare the new version of the Falcon to the old version of the Falcon, see if I could figure out where he's supposed to be running. And I can't quite
grassy knoll.
I can't quite piece it together. So I'm gonna guess that this is in fact the smuggling compartment, and they're just like, only nerds will notice that it's the exact same thing. But
wow.
I have a question now, Pete. I know you've been to Galaxy's Edge.
Tim,
have you been to Galaxy's Edge?
I've never been. I want to. I'm going to be visiting LA soon, so I'm hoping to go this time because
for the Emmy Awards, I assume.
To
new hit series, Maurice on Mars.
NDA.
The first web series to win.
To win the EGOT by itself.
Yeah.
So Pete, then Tim, do not answer this question. This is strictly for Pete. Pete, and Galaxy's Edge, when you walk on the Millennium Falcon, can you only go to the how can you go to Lando's cloak closet, or is it only like the main chess room and then the cockpit?
Yeah, you're shuttled in, and they're directed to the kind of chess area, which you're allowed to take pictures, and that's where you're like on deck to go get in. And then you can't really go walk around too much. It's a shame. They should have, but I think the problem is it's not a 1-to-1 model. It's life size, but then there are multiple areas where they're doing the gaming. So you're not like when you go up and around, there's a lot of sleight of hand basically. So when you walk, you walk around the Millennium Falcon, you go up a ramp, you feel like you're going into it, but you're really going into an area where there's the whole thing set up. You know what I mean? So when you're in the chess room, you're not inside that actual Millennium Falcon that's parked outside. I don't think so. I think they couldn't really build out too much more of it because they need the room for all the different Millennium Falcon cockpits that people are doing at the same time.
So what if you're sitting there in the chess room and you peer your head around the corner? What, like, is there a velvet rope? Is there just a wall with a drawing of the rest of the, like, how do they maintain the illusion?
I'm trying to remember, and I don't think you can. I don't know.
You're gonna, when do you go? Oh my goodness, you're gonna.
You're just gonna bring like a sketchbook. You're gonna be like Darwin.
I'm gonna bring a crowbar.
You're actually
going to
be writing. You're going to be writing tickets like a police officer at a traffic stop.
This shouldn't go here. This
Disney.
should be over there.
Yeah. I don't think this is the real Millennium Falcon. That's what I'll point out to everyone else on the ride. I'm like, I don't think this is the real Millennium Falcon, guys. This room should be over on that side. And
I love the idea of that reveal of Han and Chewie in The Force Awakens. It's just like, Chewie, what the heck did they do to this? Chewie, this we're kind of
this hallway should be over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, I feel like I've said this multiple times, but I was also disappointed that all the multiple people who owned the Falcon after Han Solo, none of them did any kind of cosmetic changes. They wanted to preserve it exactly how Han Solo left it at the end of. We don't even see the inside in Jedi, so
Empire.
Empire.
A compressor,
right
on the fuel line.
Yeah,
they're always too busy. It's a real fixer-upper. It's a real. Was the phrase a lemon? It's a lemon. Is the Millennium Falcon a lemon? I don't know.
Do they have lemons in Star Wars?
Mil-lemon-nium.
That's like when they tried to do like Fun Dip flavors of Star Wars.
Right.
They did
Mil-lemon-nium Falcon.
The Willennium
Great Moff
Falcon.
Tarkin.
I don't know if we'll ever get the Millennium Falcon. Maybe it's
too
Will
soon.
Smith's days are numbered for
too late.
that opportunity.
He'll be back.
He missed his opportunity to play Neo, and his opportunity. I'm sure they were working on it. He probably had a contract with Disney right before the slap to
come
have
back
a Millennium Falcon. And
Millennium Falcon, yeah. One day.
So yes, this is where we see the tentacle monster really get
Disemboweled.
Fricasseed, fillet of tentacle monster. Apparently, they said this was included as a nod to Indiana Jones.
How
so?
And
because of the melting of a face. I
didn't know if they meant Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, where you see the guy go, choose poorly and get super aged, or whether it was the guys from the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know.
Melting.
It just said it was included as a tribute to Indiana Jones, but I just the aging Harrison Ford. Is that what it's supposed to be? So anyway, whatever that. So I do like the skeleton bit. It's very silly, but it's cool looking. So that's a clear in my book.
Do you think that the skeleton should have turned around and looked at his skin and muscles getting sucked into the thing and be like, "Whoa!" And then
I think the skeleton
try to run with a little bongo sound as his feet move.
The skeleton should have looked over, and then when it realized it was naked, would have put its hands over its naughty bits, and then blushed,
and then gotten sucked into the maw,
and then gotten sucked into the thing. Or alternately, the skeleton would look and then go and be so scared, its skeleton would pop out of the skeleton and then run away or something. So, yeah, that's what they should have done.
All right. Noted.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah, that's how it should have.
Only flaw in the entire film was that the skeleton did not react to it being pulled into the thing and do a double take.
Sure. Here's another thing I do like. We were talking about the technology of the era that this is from being in line with being an earlier version of the technology that we see in Star Wars, the motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
And that little panel that they keep showing with the kind of route that goes between the carbon bergs, I like that a lot. It's a good, it looks very kind of like 60s, 70s ish as far as the display, but then also the thing around it. It's got a very kind of like stereo console look, to it. It's got some good knobs and some kind of useless plating. It looks almost, like a precursor of like Death Star panels and stuff like that. So it's a good, I enjoy that design.
Yeah. Good
stuff.
Yeah.
When I was at Star Wars Celebration, I went to a Death Star panel.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There you go.
It was great.
And it felt very 70s.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I was in my 70s.
The Star Wars Celebration sponsored by Geico.
Uh-huh.
Is that, I feel like, because I didn't go, but anytime I watch the live stream, it's just like so many Geico logos everywhere.
Oh, that's funny because we were there in person and they didn't have any Geico stuff, so we really had totally different experiences of the. You think we'll ever see the Geico lizard in a Star Wars? Think they'll ever cast him in a Star Wars?
Well, in like as an Easter egg in like a Senate scene kind of a thing, maybe.
Ooh, to illustrate the influence of corporations on
maybe.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
That the multiverses aspect of things is pretty is hot right now. Geico could use a multiverse because they've had so many. They had the gecko, they got the cavemen, they got
Flo.
They have that pig that sticks his head out the window. No, Flo is progressive.
Herb
is progressive.
They got Herb. They got.
Now you're talking about Aldi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different idea. Yeah, there should be a fighting game where it's basically free advertising for all these all these things, all the companies. You just say, hey, we're going to put your celebrity mascot in this game.
It's like Roger Rabbit, but with corporate brands.
Corporate, like kind of commercial mascots and or product mascots, and they're all fighting, like one-on-one fighting game.
The State Farm guy versus the Allstate guy. The Allstate guy says you're in safe hands right before he punches you.
Oh yeah, that's a special move. He can create
emu
good hand
shows up.
Yeah. The would you be the guy or would you be the emu for that tandem? I don't know. Maybe you're the guy riding on the emu. It's like Joust.
Yes.
So would it be the kind of thing where whatever company paid the most would win? Because the problem is if you have Ronald McDonald fighting the Burger King, how do you determine who wins?
When you said joust, and jousting is there? Have we ever seen jousting in Star Wars? Like, can there be a lightsaber joust?
I was with you at first, then you said lightsaber, and I'm no.
Maybe like a spinning lightsaber.
No. Come on.
Okay, but jousting with those giant, metallic sticks that the Emperor's guards, the Crimson Guards have.
Vibro jousting.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that.
Right. I like the idea of jousting being in Star Wars.
Yeah.
They could even do it on speeders. They wouldn't even have to do it on animals. They could do it on droids.
Pod jousting.
I'm going to have to edit all this out because obviously we saw lots of jousting in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That was the episodes that came out after we recorded this were all full of jousting.
The last two were nothing but jousting.
Nothing but joust.
Right. Always be joust. ABJ, always be
ABJ.
joust.
Even featured Colin Joust, especially.
Riding on an ostrich.
Yeah, we've seen racing. What other sports could work in Star Wars? I guess like boxing or wrestling would certainly be a fun thing to see.
We've seen that, didn't we?
In the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's true. We had the Gamorrean MMA.
Yeah.
Right. MMA
mixed monster hearts.
What other sports are there? No equivalent to like basketball or anything.
Yeah.
Gymnastics.
Yeah. And just to do that annoying thing of segueing to my web series, episode 2 of Maurice on Mars is about an invented sport called Basket Cube that exists on Mars and is it's a new sport that's owned by and there's only 2 teams on Mars and they're both owned by the same billionaire. And so that's the primary conflict. But all to say, it's fun to make up sports in a science fiction, and I think Star Wars should.
Does it work in real life? I mean, are there real rules to it and stuff?
I haven't figured it out. I happen to be someone who knows nothing about sports and finds sports to be confusing, and I'm fascinated by the camaraderie and pride that goes along with it. And I'm not in a judgmental way, but it's just like fascinating to me that just because I'm born somewhere, I'm gonna be a dedicated Lakers fan or something.
Yeah.
Even though all the Lakers aren't from the place. And
the Lakers aren't even from the place. They're from Minneapolis originally.
Yeah. It's just a fascinating endeavor we do as a
Seinfeld had a bit about that. He's like, you're rooting for a shirt, basically. Like, that guy's wearing the same shirt. I like him. Now he's wearing a different shirt. I hate that guy now. So,
sports.
So You had a story. You had a story about siblings.
Yes.
Speaking of sports,
great transition. I just
Speaking of sports.
before we were recording, I was like, I just saw this thing on Twitter that is like, I can't stop thinking about it. And so you're like, oh, let's bring it up. What can we do to trigger you talking about this? And I was like, if you just bring up siblings. And so brilliant
Good.
play there. But apparently, according to, there's like it's a Twitter account that's like calls itself a holocron or something. I think it's a pretty popular one.
Mm-hmm.
An early draft of Return of the Jedi, it was going to be revealed that Owen Lars, Uncle Owen, is Obi-Wan Kenobi's brother.
Yes. Obi-Wan says that in the dialogue when he's like talking about, he sits on the log and talks to Luke, and he's like, "Yeah, we couldn't have the Emperor, couldn't have the Emperor find you, so I brought you to my brother."
Coming from Obi-Wan at that point could be another lie,
right?
Or is the truth. And it's making me like trying to bring my brain back to when Return of the Jedi came out. What did people know about Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru? Like maybe it would have made total sense, and no one had this concept of. It's a very muddy concept. Like even I have to remind myself how Anakin is connected to these people and how and how Luke is connected to them. That Uncle Ben and Beru are, what do you call it? Step.
Owen is Anakin's stepbrother.
Right.
They had the same. Anakin's mother was married to his father.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So no biological relation.
That's one that it only happened that way because of episode 4. Like if you were directing episode 1, 2, and 3 and said, okay, now what do you think's going to happen to Luke and Leia? You wouldn't say, I guess they bring him back to those farmers from the last episode. Like why would you like, what? Out of all the characters, like it's a strange thing to have happen.
Obi-Wan must only know about them because Anakin told him about what happened. It's like Obi-Wan had never met them in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
So
right. Padme goes, but he doesn't go.
That's weird because I would not assume that Anakin would, given that he wasn't supposed to be there anyway because they told him to stay on that other planet and that was his first kind of dark side fling. I would think that Annie would not really want to say very much about what happened on Tatooine, but
although maybe it's just like they didn't even. I love how somehow we're talking about Attack of the Clones on an episode of Solo, but I guess it's Revenge of the Sith. But I think maybe it's just like they just looked up in his records, like okay, it says here he's from this place on Tatooine. Like the updated like where they've been sending the Jedi Academy fundraising newsletters and all that stuff, and there's this is the address. Is somebody named Shmi here? And they're like, they had to go talk through the whole thing, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess would you like this baby?
That's funny. I would have assumed they sent those messages to Watto.
Oh,
that would be. You should have brought him back to Watto at the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, what I'm about to say might be too
hot for TV.
Maybe because is Watto's name just Watto?
Oh,
you think it's Watto Skywalker?
Yeah.
Yes, as we all know about slavery, often the slaves are named after the master. So He is he is the only one of that whole family who can fly. So Skywalker makes much more sense for a guy with wings than it does for.
That is a crude way of describing flying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I think you've blown this thing wide open.
Yeah. So what is the true rise of Skywalker, and what does it mean? Like, what if at the end?
It's when Watto floats up over the counter. That's the rise of Skywalker.
At the end of Rise of Skywalker, when Rey says Skywalker, we suddenly see Watto's ghost emerge with.
Oh, ghost? You think he's dead? I was gonna say he's still alive at that point.
I guess so. Alive for.
We don't know how long. We don't know how long. I mean, Chewbacca was around that whole time.
Yeah.
Toydarians
I like that.
could have a long lifespan.
And his granddaughter. immediately
pulls out some paperwork.
Injects a bomb into her.
Well, technically, legally, I own you.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, that's all I have for minute 94.
Really?
That was why I did my smooth segue to siblings, because I was like,
say.
I have nothing left in notes.
Well, that's all I had too. So can we do, Tim, can we get you back for one more episode tomorrow?
Of course, I will not leave this chair.
All right. Well, like we said, some people might be coming through. It's that they, you have some of these guys on a couple of seasons and they think they own the place. But sorry, just tell them, why you're here, and they'll be fine.
That's why I'm here.
And hey, one of the reasons why we're here is to talk with you all, you people, you listeners, you viewers. Why not interact with us in a friendly way on the internet? Let's say,
just put that qualifier in there.
In a friendly way. Let's say you're on the Twitter. Go to Star Wars Minute on Twitter. Instagram, the Star Wars Minute. You want to go to Facebook and hash it out with us in a good way? Go to StarWarsMinute.com/Facebook. It'll bring you to the Star Wars Minute Listener Society, where a bunch of fun people are hanging out. Or go to Reddit. Go to /r/Star Wars Minute. Am I not supposed to say that /r? Am I supposed to say R Star Wars Minute? How am I supposed to?
R.
What's the? R Star Wars Minute. Be on Reddit.
Star
for ye to interact. I feel like I'm like an old person saying like you got a www.
HTTPS.
Yeah, exactly. But go there. I'm there sometimes. Alex is there sometimes. We're all over the place. And we will be back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.